Welcome to the D for Diving Master Diver series, where together we're going to explore some of the tips and tricks that can make you a much better diver. But more importantly than the how, we're also going to explore the why. As you'll no doubt know, it's really important to try and perfect and control your buoyancy in order to get the most out of diving. We put a video up several months ago looking at the key things that kill buoyancy control and the things that therefore that you need to focus on. And a big part of that is correct weighting. And that is true. Correct weighting is very important to buoyancy control, but so too is the positioning of where you're going to put those weights in order to achieve that nice trim position, which means that you're more efficient and effective when moving through the water. If you're diving with a jacket style BCD and you're diving overweighted, in order to achieve neutral buoyancy, you're going to need to put more air in the BCD. And a jacket style BCD with air inside it is going to try and hold you in an upright diving position. So you'll look a little bit like a seahorse. Correcting that weighting means that you can hover nice and neutrally with less air in your BCD. But then we have to look at the placement and positioning of that weight. The hip bone is the heaviest bone in our body. And with a standard diving configuration, we tend to strap all of the lead to our hips, or at least put it in the integrated weight pouches, which are pretty damn close to the hips too. So with the correct weighting in a jacket style BCD, using a weight belt or integrated weight pouches, we're probably still going to have that slightly heads up, feet down diving position, as Nora is demonstrating here. If we move those weights slightly further up, maybe to chest height, we'll notice that she'll dip in the water. Her head will drop and her feet will rise, and she'll have a much more neutral and efficient diving position. Positioning of your weights is going to be specific to you and your equipment. And so there's no one size fits all as to where is the best placement of weighting. It's literally going to come about through trial and error. If we switch to a back inflate BCD or a back plate and wing, the wing's natural propensity is to hold you horizontal in the water. That's what it wants to do, and that's how it's going to work. However, if we're overweighted and at the surface, fully inflating your wing will make it do the same thing. And as Nora demonstrates here, it'll push you face down in the water, which is an issue many people find when they first switch to a back plate and wing or a back inflate style BCD. Reducing the weights means that you reduce the air that's needed in your cell, which means that you can comfortably stay at the surface without looking like you're bobbing for apples at Halloween. Even when diving with a backplate and wing, if we're diving overweighted and those weights are positioned on weight pouches on the hips or on a weight belt, then you're still going to have that hips down, head up diving position. We can correct it by moving the weights higher up the body in the same way as we can with a jacket style BCD. Nora shows us here in an exaggerated method how we can extend the weights further forward and get that nice horizontal trim position. When she's correctly weighted, you'll notice that she just naturally hangs in the water in a nice trim position from her BCD. Now in Nora's specific case, she's diving with a steel backplate, so that means that this is all the weight she needs. Whilst I dive with 2 kilos attached to my cam band, making sure the weights are right up at my shoulder. Our arm and leg position is also important. If I drop my arms and straighten my legs, the pivot point on my body will drop and I'll go back to being legs down, head up. And if I push my arms forward and bend my legs, I'll get back to that nice neutral trim position. Our body positioning is therefore really important. So in summary, the key things we've taken from this is that diving correctly weighted is probably the most important thing. Many divers choose to dive overweighted because they can sink quicker. But it adds problems to positioning, it adds problems to trim. It means we'll use a lot more air in our BCD that could be used in our lungs. If you've enjoyed this video, make sure you splash down on the like button and help us with the algorithm by hitting the subscribe button. Get notified of when we have more Master Series videos on offer. All I'd like to say now is thank you, stay diving, and we'll see you soon.